If you happen to stumble on this video, I hope that this would bring you blessings, inspiration, and encouragement. So today, I'm going to share something to you that I am hoping that will bring you some encouragement. Okay. Lately, things have been difficult and challenging. Actually, 2020 has been difficult for most of us, and even 2021. Probably some already have adjusted to the new normal, but in some areas or in some places, still there are those are having still difficulty and does not even or do not even adjust at all to what is happening right now. And it's like, pulling you down, or pulling us in every direction that is so stressful and so tiring. So I hope today's inspiration would bring you somehow some encouragement to the challenges that you are facing. Now let me share to you a passage before I go through. All right. So you can, if you have a Bible, you can find it in Luke 22, 31 to 32. Luke 22. This is about Jesus foretelling Peter's denial. And Jesus said to Peter, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan demanded to have you, that he might sift you like wheat. But I have prayed for you, that your faith may not fail. And when you have turned again, strengthen your brothers. Um, I want you to focus on, Satan have demanded you. I believe everything that is happening around us, everything that every challenges that we encounter, it's like um, Satan's opportunity to sift us, to shake us, how far and how strong our faith would be, and he is always laying wait outside our door, waiting for that opportunity, to break us down. But it's a good assurance that you know the Lord is praying for us, just like how He prayed for Peter long before Peter betrayed him. Long before Peter had done something that in history of Christian church actually is one of the failures. One of the failures in the history of Christian church. Imagine you betraying Jesus Christ. Yeah. So even then, the Lord was assuring Peter, um, that I have prayed for you, that your faith, will not fail you. And when you have turned around, that means when you have succeeded, overcoming this failure, and your faith had stood, strengthen your brothers. So extend that blessing as well, that encouragement, that inspiration to other people. Yeah. So lately, um, here in our area, there's been a lot of rain, right? And sometimes thunderstorms. That means there will be strong rain all of a sudden and lots of lightning and thunder going as well. So even yesterday we suddenly have a strong thunder around us that it startled us. The kids got actually got surprised by the strong sound of thunder, and we can see from afar, lightning striking, right? And um, it reminds me of the storms of life as well. the kind of storm sometimes that is so relentless and exacting that does not leave us, not until we're almost like drowning. Of course, there are things, there are storms that can leave us worried for a night, but then the next morning will be fine. But again, there are storms that really has very strong winds that even from afar, you can already see it. Yeah, long before it comes, before it arrives, you can already like see it looming over. You can see the clouds are gray and heavy with rain. All right, and depending on how how we evaluate the strength of the storm, um, we asked ourselves with dread, are we going to survive this? So in life, sometimes before difficulties and challenges comes, there were times that we can already see it from afar. And depending on how we evaluate um, the heaviness of it, the difficulty of it, uh, our response as well, is dependent on our perception. Are we going to survive it? Are we going to overcome it? Would we? What are we going to lose? In these challenges, in these difficulties, and there were times that it will not leave you with one sleepless night only. Sometimes it leaves you was that crawling, crying, and almost to your breaking point, to the point that it really like drowns you with anxiety and stresses. So it does not recede. The wind does not recede. The storm does not calm down. Not until it gets the best out of you, you know. But in the spirit of the wind, there is a whisper. The you know the comfort that says, I have prayed for you, that your own faith may not fail. We experience that it feels like, you're losing everything, and it feels like you are already at your breaking point, and then you can hear these assurances that the moment you trust God's words, or the moment that you turn to God, you can hear this comforting and assuring whisper, I have prayed for you, that your faith may not fail. And even when you do, that your faith may even grow stronger through your failure. Um, yes, it's difficult sometimes to hear these words, especially if the stress is so overwhelming or the storm. There are times that we have this season that it seems everything is all stormy. There's to the point that I would actually say personally, can you give me a break, God, for a while? Can you give me a breathing space? Because I'm drowning here. It's like I haven't overcome uh, I haven't overcome a trial yet. There's another one coming, and there's another one, and another one. And indeed, the Lord is good because He would throw lifelines, such as random messages being sent to you to encourage you, a friend calling you, checking you out all of a sudden, for some reason, even unknown to them, and it's like a lifeline. It's like a something that you can hold into, that that people that the Lord uses in order to encourage you, despite being overwhelmed by the stresses that you're experiencing, by the anxiety, by the uncertainty, and all those negative emotions crashing down on you. Yeah. So please, if you know there is a chance for you to reach out, if the Lord is steering something in your heart to reach out to someone or to pray for someone, please do not hesitate to do so, because personally it benefited me. You know, those are like lifelines that sustain me and encourage me to not give up and to continue trusting God, to continue to be faithful, because you know those things encourages someone. Those kind words, those words of encouragement and prayers. Um, it's like a sustenance for people who are droning in anxiety and depression, in the crushing weight of responsibilities and other things and other difficulties that they are experiencing. And um, of course, there would be times that you wanted to be angry, because it seems like there's no end into this. When is gonna end? You know, especially if it's like a daily thing. When is gonna end? When it's gonna be over? When is this season of stormy experiences is gonna be over? Um, and it would remind me of Paul's attitude. Of course, naturally, if I would only give in to my emotions, I would always be angry. I would always be bitter. I would always be vengeful. You know, um, but the Lord is good, and He would direct me to remember Paul's attitudes. You know, in Paul's life, when he was in prison, he sings. When he was in a boat, he experienced shipwreck. When he landed on an island, he was bitten by a poisonous snake, but he just removed the poisonous snake and just threw it into the fire as if nothing happened. That's how calm he is. You know why? Because that's how close he is to the Lord. He knows his God intimately, and you can only have peace and that kind of calmness that Paul has if you have an intimate relationship with God. And knowing that, you know, despite the stormy experiences that you have that caused you to experience shipwreck as well, like imagine yourself sailing, for example, and you're in the middle of the sea, and you can actually see a storm coming from afar, and looking at the boat or the ship that you are sailing with, you feel the anxiety and the fear that it might not handle the storm that is coming. All right. And then when the storm came and it is slowly wrecking and breaking the very thing that you're standing on that keeps you afloat, for example, it could be your career, it could be your job, it could be your relationship, your marriage, it could be your family or a loved one. When you're losing all these things, for example, that you thought is giving you security, because our job somehow is giving us some sense of security, yeah, or the money that we are earning every day, or our marriage, our family, our family member, our health. But if the storm is threatening those things that is giving us earthly security, and you see them breaking apart, and then you end up in the water and you end up drowning, for example, um, Paul is saying none of you will lose a hair from your head. The boat, that the very thing that is giving you security, yeah, it could be your career, it could be your job, it could be anything, your marriage, your relationships, your family member, the very close brother or father or mother that you know encourages you, and you're losing this person, for example. Remember this: I have prayed for you, that your faith, there are things that you might lose in this world. There are things that might break. A part of you might be broken, for example, or things that they're giving you some sense of security might, might leave you, and leave you with only anxiety and uncertainty and things. You can be assured that what will continue make you afloat is your faith. That no matter how difficult things might be, that you might be thrown out into deep waters, and probably the water is trying to drown you or whatsoever, still some people might even lose their lives, but not your soul. When we stay and continue faithfully trusting the Lord. Yeah. Yes, we will be stripped down of everything, but you will not be lost. Yes, there are times that we might even lose our lives, but your soul will not. Yeah. While I do not recommend some people to go through some really hard difficulties in life, but there are those who actually went through some very hard difficulties of life that will not exchange it for anything. That they still end up grateful because it made them grow into a certain level, and it helps them appreciate life better, and make and realize what is actually more important in life. Yes, and more important, what is more important to hold on to. So um, Satan may do everything or anything that can break us, that can beat us down, but know that no matter how relentless he can be in his effort to sift us, take heart. Jesus says, I have prayed for you. So may you remember this when you are experiencing difficulties. That no matter how challenging things can be, we might even lose everything, but know that because God or because Jesus is praying for us, you will be saved by your faith.